Hello and welcome to Unwind Sessions, where right after my shift I give the highlights of my workday and answer any questions that might have been asked at a previous session. My name is Juan. I am an English, Spanish, medical video consecutive remote interpreter with over 4 years of experience. Today is Friday, July 9th, 2021, and I took a total of 30 sessions today. It was a pretty easy day, not that many highlights. There were only two things that I would like to mention, but nothing really, nothing, I don't know what I wanted to say, nothing like really like overly relevant or overly important for me to mention, right? So yeah, 30 sessions. It was like always audio sessions, video sessions. There were quite a few audio sessions, so it was pretty nice. Audio sessions are always welcome. I love audio sessions more than video sessions. I used to love video sessions when I started doing video sessions. Now I wish all sessions were audio, but yeah, audio doesn't pay that much, right? So I'll do the video. So anyways, moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the first highlight of the day. And the first highlight of the day is a word that I already knew what it was, but you might not, depending on where you're from. And that word is a name of a fruit that they use in countries like Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Ecuador. Now, the name of the fruit, or how they call it over there, they call it frutilla. Now, if you don't know that what that means, you are probably not alone. The first time I heard that, I thought they were meant because frutilla, in any other country than that, that's like a little bit of fruit or a tiny fruit. So I just thought like it was like a fruit salad the first time that I heard it. And that's how I interpreted it. And then the lady was like, no, I didn't say fruit salad. She was like, I said frutilla. And then after she explained to me, like, I had to look it up and I found out that it was strawberry. So I hope that doesn't happen to you, right? Because I already told you what it is. So frutilla in Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Ecuador is going to be strawberry. That way you already know, so that when it happens to you, you are ready and you can just interpret it like a pro, right? Okay, and another thing that happened today is that a nurse wanted me to interpret the following. She said, can you ask her if she's feeling the off time? And now, I don't know if that's a real sentence, but that doesn't really make sense to me unless I have context, and I didn't have any other context other than that. Can you tell her if she's feeling the off time? So I didn't know how to interpret this, and I asked her, I told her, ma'am, I'm very sorry, but I don't understand what off time means. Would you explain that to me? And she said, oh yeah, no problem. So off time means if she is having symptoms after taking the medication and before taking the second dose. Is she having symptoms while she's off of the medication? So I was like, okay, I can interpret that. And I went ahead and interpreted that, and everything was well with this session. So those are the only two highlights that I had today. So nothing like really super important, but two highlights nonetheless. And before I get into answering one of our viewers' questions, which is how I'm going to end the video, I want to mention about I'm still traumatized from the note-taking session and interpreting session that I did, because man, those interpreting videos or interpreting practice videos are tough, man. Let me tell you, nothing like a real life situation. So if you can complete any of those videos, even if it's just one, or if you can complete them all flawlessly, like honestly, props to you. You are the best, and don't let anyone tell you that you don't know how to interpret, because those are tougher than real life, because in real life you don't have a limit to interpret. You can ask for repetitions, you can ask for definitions, and you can, there's little tricks like you can do, right, for you to actually remember a word. Like if you forget, like I forgot willpower, fuerza de voluntad. So if you can get to those, through those sessions flawlessly, like, man, whenever you get to interpret real life is going to seem like a joke, honestly. So I mean, those sessions are so tough. So if you can get through them, you're an awesome interpreter, honestly. And I hope that we have some more videos soon. We should have them soon. I don't know how soon though, but hopefully it won't take that long. Alright, so that's all I wanted to say, and now moving on to Walter Alvarado's question. And his whole comment says, "Thank you for your advice, thank you for explaining how your training went, you're great." Thank you for that, and you are very welcome. He says his training is similar to the one I had. It was more extended than yours though. And by the way, I've been doing this for only 10 months. So yeah, that's always good that you had some similar training like I did, and if it was more extended, then that's great, right? You had a very good training, I am assuming, and I mean 10 months interpreting, that's a pretty good time. You're almost at the 1 year mark, so congratulations on that. And I just, when I was writing the script for this session, I remembered that, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but they say, and I think it's been scientifically proven, that it takes 10,000 hours of an activity to actually be considered a pro at something. So, I mean, we're still far away from that, but they say that only 2,000 hours is enough to consider you good at something. So once you go ahead and you reach those 2,000 hours, you can consider yourself a good interpreter, and that makes a lot of sense. Although I do have to say that it was not until my 4th year, it was not until January of this year, that I actually felt like I was like pretty good at interpreting, because all of a sudden, like once I hear my 4-year mark, just one day I woke up and everything was very good. Everything just flowed naturally. My interpreting was on point, and I was doing just such a good job, or I thought I was doing such a good job. I felt I was doing such a good job. And I knew that I was a pretty good interpreter at that time. Of course, I considered myself pretty good before that, but it was not until I hit that 4-year mark that I could actually feel it, like something changed, and I wouldn't know what, but for some reason I had like more confidence, faster notes, I took less notes, and a lot of things changed. And of course that change came gradually, but I was not able to notice like the full effect or the complete bulk of all those changes until the 4-year mark. Now that's not to say that other people are gonna get it before that, right? There's a lot of prodigies out there that could actually do a better job than I can, maybe before those 4,000 hours. But for me, it took me 4,000 hours, but I would say 2,000 hours is a pretty good place to be in any activity, to be considered good at it. So keep striving for it, don't give up. And of course, you're already working as an interpreter, so you're gonna get a lot of practice there, and you'll be ready, or you will reach that level that you're expecting to have now pretty soon. And of course, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. So I just wanted to mention that. And let's get right to your question. And your question is, what do you do to not let tiredness get on the way of your message delivery? Any advice? Now, I've already talked about this problem in a couple of sessions. I think I did one last week or probably about 2 weeks ago. And the first unwind sessions that I ever published here on YouTube, I that was it. It's called Sleeping on the Job. So it talks about that as well. And this is a problem that is recurring for me. It's not that frequent. It used to be one frequent, very, very frequent sometime, but I've already solved, well, I haven't solved it. I solved it for the most part, but it's something that um, just comes back and bites me in the butt whenever I'm least expecting it. So I couldn't say that I have 100% solid advice to give you that is going to make you the interpreter who is never tired at their job, because I can't even do that. But however, the last time that I had a bad day like that, I think it was, yeah, the last session that I mentioned it. And other than that, I've been sleeping fine. I've been waking up tired sometimes, but it hasn't been affecting my day. Not like that session and then some other sessions that I mentioned, but it's not something that I really struggle a lot with. And I've mentioned some of my tips in the past videos. So what I'm gonna do in this video, I took 15 tips to get rid of tiredness that I found on healthline.com, and I believe that is the name of the article. Get rid of tiredness or something like that. So you can look that up and give it a little read for you, in case I'm not able to give such a good explanation. But I'm gonna compare like what I do to what this article is actually advising, right? Just to see how I fare. And I think I do a pretty good job. So let's get to it. And tip number one is eat a balanced diet. I would say yes, definitely. This is like a very big one, because if you are eating like a lot of fat and a lot of carbs, right? Or a lot of junk foods that are not good for you, that are not healthy, you are probably going to feel bad. Now, I've been trying to eat pretty healthy. I would say right now, but before I say that, right now I'm living at my grandma's house, and so I'm getting grandma's cookings, and I'm just like, I'm trying to eat healthy, but it's very hard. It's very hard when you have a sweet old lady that cooks the bombest food that you've ever tasted in your life, and the same food that she's been making ever since you were born. So like every time she makes a dish, I get flashbacks from my childhood, right? So how am I gonna say no to that food? Of course, I had the option to say, no, Grandma, I'm gonna eat healthy today. I'm not gonna be eating your food. Like, I tried that the first week that I moved here with my grandma, and then like I tried it, and I just saw like all her cooking and everything, and I said, you know what, Grandma, I'm just gonna eat whatever you cook. So although I do eat vegetables with every meal, and I do eat fruit with every meal, and I eat just some protein, chicken, beef, whatever. And then in the morning I have breakfast with coffee, in the afternoon green tea, and that's it. Other than that, just water. So I try not to eat that much grains, pasta, everything that you're not supposed to eat in a diabetic diet. So I kind of eat like that, and it has been pretty good. So I would say definitely eating a balanced diet is something that is very, very good, and it does help. And another thing is that I used to do intermittent fasting. I haven't done intermittent fasting in like 2 or 3 weeks. And one thing that I have noticed though is that if I don't eat dinner, and I only make 2 meals in a day, breakfast and lunch, and I don't eat any dinner, like the next day I wake up feeling wonderful. Like there's nothing that can beat that. Honestly, you like maybe you can try that, and maybe that will help, maybe not, but it has helped me. And also trying to eat a balanced diet, a good diet. And to add to that, like there's been several times where I don't need any sugar, where I don't need any legumes, starchy vegetables or grains or things like that, and I've been great. Of course, that's not a balanced diet, right? Because you're putting out the grains and stuff, but I mean, it helps me. Hopefully, it helps you as well. Another thing is get regular exercise, and that definitely does help because I feel like whenever I get regular exercise, I feel like at the end of the day I am tired and I can get to sleep more quickly. So I would definitely say that yes, that is definitely gonna help you to not be tired during the day, during your shift. So yeah, get some regular exercise and drink more water. Now, other than coffee and green tea, that is all that I drink. I've probably been drinking milk a couple of days just because I'm here with my grandma. I know that's not an excuse, but other than that, I probably had a couple of no, I had a glass of wine probably last week. I don't drink, well, I don't drink that much. I don't remember when was the last time that I drank, but I've been drinking a little bit more often here that I am with my grandma because this is like the social place, the social gathering. So um, I, but I don't drink any more than 1 cup of wine or 1 glass of beer. But yeah, probably if I was living here, it would only be water, green tea, and coffee. Another thing, so yeah, definitely drink more water, and if you can only drink water, I believe that is best for you, or for everyone, I should say. Uh, Tip number 4, cut down on caffeine. Now, I drink caffeine, and I have found, and of course, that's why I am eating green tea at lunch, because there was a point when I was interpreting and I was falling asleep. I mentioned that on the first video, sleeping on the job. I was falling asleep, so I, of course, I was drinking coffee, but that didn't even do anything for me at like midday, right? That's when I was falling asleep. So I decided that I should include green tea during my lunch to keep me awake, and that has helped. However, I have to say that on the days where I'm really falling asleep, nothing works, honestly. So cutting down on caffeine, they say it's good because it helps you with your regular energy levels and not having to rely on caffeine, right? And I have to say that there was a point when I did not take any caffeine. I did not take any caffeine because I remember me and my wife said that we weren't going to be drinking any caffeine. But then my son was born, and those sleepless nights, I just couldn't get to work without coffee. So I turned back for coffee, and I am on coffee ever since. It's been like the past 6 years, and I don't think I'm going to leave coffee. So cutting down on caffeine is something that I don't do. However, the last hours for me to drink coffee is during my lunch, 1 or 2. I don't like to drink caffeine over 2 in the afternoon, because if I drink it like a little bit later, it's hard for me to get to sleep. I have noticed that, so you might want to give that a try as well if you drink caffeine, right? Another thing is to get your sleep on, and yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, right? If you're sleeping and you get enough sleep, you're not gonna be tired. So definitely, yes. Whenever I get a good night's sleep, I can guarantee you that I'm not gonna be falling asleep at all, and my days just flow much faster, and I can do a much better job interpreting, right? So they say 8 hours of sleep is best, but if you can get anywhere from 6 to 7 good solid hours of sleep, that is really good for you. I have noticed that sometimes I can do good whenever I get just 7 hours of sleep, and I am pretty good. So that is awesome whenever I get my 7 hours of sleep. But if I get anything less than 7 hours, I'm probably not gonna be doing a good job for that day. So yeah, definitely sleep is very important. And ditch the alcohol. Well, I already told you I don't drink. Last drink I had was like 2 weeks ago, just a cup of wine, and probably one beer maybe a week before that, and that. So I'm not drinking every once in a while. And I don't know. I remember when I used to get drunk, like from a night of heavy drinking. I remember I used to sleep like a baby, but then I would wake up with a very bad hangover. So that's why I stopped. Once I turned like 29, 30-ish, I remember I had the worst hangover of my life, and I just said, I'm done with alcohol. I don't ever want to feel like this way again. So I just stopped, and like I have a drink every once in a while, but not to the extent that I'm getting a hangover the next day, right? Or just one drink and that's it. So definitely ditch the alcohol or drink less. I would say that's a good tip. Yeah. Number 7, address your allergies. Now, I am fortunate enough to tell you that I have never ever suffered allergies in my life. Maybe once I had a rash breakout and all over my body, and they gave me like some Benadryl and stuff. But other than that, I've never had any allergies or anything, so I wouldn't know about that. But of course, I'm going out on a limb right here that if you probably have allergies, you're probably not feeling well. So yeah, you should probably address your allergies. Reduce stress. I'm not a very stressful person. I am very relaxed, very calm, and definitely whenever I feel stressed, like I was stressed probably 2 3 weeks ago because it was the end of the semester and I had to turn in all this work, and it was just bad. I had never felt that bad in my life. And yeah, definitely, man, I was stressed. I was feeling bad. I wasn't sleeping well. It was horrible. So yeah, definitely go ahead and reduce that stress if you can. Some good strategies to reduce stress could be just exercising, doing activities that you enjoy. The last hour of the day, just do something like read a book, play a video game, go ahead and watch a movie, whatever. Just gets your mind off of all of the hard day's work, right? And that just resets your mind for you to actually get that good night's sleep. Fluffy pillows, fluffy bed, a good temperature, close the blinds, whatever you have to do to actually get you in that sleeping mood to reduce your stress, and you can actually get a good night's sleep. Definitely number one, and one of my number one priority, trying to reduce stress. And I think I do a pretty good job from that. Another thing is do a mental health check, and the article talks about just being conscious about what's making you feel tired, what's making you feel less energetic. What are you doing? Maybe you're not eating well. Maybe you're drinking too much coffee at night. Maybe you're drinking too much alcohol. Maybe there's something bothering you, right? You're not gonna be able to make rent at the end of the month or whatever. Just make sure that you understand and you have a clear understanding as much as you can of what you think is actually making you tired, and go ahead and make sure to address those situations as best as you can. Number 10, sit less. Definitely that has helped me, and I have a setup here which I actually made myself because I couldn't afford one of those really expensive adjusting desks, right? That you press a button and it goes right to the height that you need it. Well, yeah, I don't have that. I have just a tripod and then like this setup that I made from since I'm an electrician and I'm looking at it right now, that's why I'm looking this way. Since I'm an electrician, I used I don't know what they're called in English, but they are like this metal bar to actually go ahead and set like uh, um, and I'm sorry I can't show you this because it would violate company policy, but it's they're like metal bars where you can put electric components onto that, and they are pretty stiff. And I had a lot of things left. Like I just looked in my storage um, place on my storage place. Well, there's a room in my grandpa's, God rest his soul. In my There's like a storage room right here where he keeps all his tools and everything. And I used to keep. Once I stopped working as an electrician, since he was the one to teach me to be an electrician, he was an electrician. So I just brought everything over here because I thought I would never use it. And then it turns out that I did use it, not for electricity though, but just to make my setup. And I am going to show you someday. I'm gonna show you someday. I don't know when, but yeah, I'll show you my setup. But anyways, my setup is something that I made on my own. That way I can actually adjust my seat. And 1 hour, well, I start my shift. The first hour I am standing, so I lift everything up. And once that I hit that hour, I sit for an hour, and that's how I'm doing it. I'm standing 1 hour, I'm sitting the next, and that has really helped me because when I was sitting the whole day, it got so bad at one point. My legs just hurt so bad. I couldn't even sleep. It was horrible. It was horrible. So the next day, I just put everything on top of a cabinet that I had, like an office cabinet, and or what's it called, a filer, or I'm not sure what it's called, but it's those really big cabinets where they have in offices where they take out the big old drawer and then has all of the files on there. So it was a pretty decent height, and I went ahead and I just set everything up there because I couldn't sleep because of all the pain. And I took that shift standing up. A whole standing shift was horrible. It was horrible, but it was better than sitting. So now my legs didn't hurt, but my feet were killing me. So I just had to develop something, and I developed that in one weekend. Of course, it was not as great as it is now. It was very crappy, and I started making better things to it. But yeah, definitely, if you can sit less, that is definitely going to help you. Definitely helped me. Number 11, it says prioritize iron-rich foods. Now, definitely having low iron is definitely, from my experience as an interpreter, as a medical interpreter, it is going to make you, it is going to give you anemia, or it is going to make you feel low energy. So go ahead and prioritize those iron-rich foods, which is leafy green vegetables. I love kale, I love spinach. I have that every morning, kale or spinach in my breakfast. That's I always eat that in the morning. Fortified cereals and bread, I try not to eat those. Meat, yes, I eat meat. However, I prefer chicken or fish. Beans, peas, lentils, I can't eat that. I don't really eat that. I do. My grandma makes some bomb beans, so I am eating quite a lot of beans recently. I'm sure you can tell from my face. And bean, not just beans, but bean burritos with my grandma's homemade salsa is the best. Liver, I love liver. If I could eat liver, I would eat liver all the time. Nuts, yes, I really love nuts. I used to eat a lot of peanuts to get a little bit more calories into my diet. I don't do so anymore because I was getting too many calories into my diet. So but peanuts are not nuts, by the way. So almonds, chestnuts, pecans, all of that. That's all good, and you can include them to your diet. Whole grains. I try not to eat a lot of whole grains, but definitely iron-rich foods are the best. Have smaller, more frequent meals. Now, I have never tried that, but the article says that having smaller, much frequent meals means that the sugar in your blood is like at a good level, right? You don't get no spikes because you have a big meal and then you get a spike and then it crashes, and then you have a big meal and then spike and then crashes. But if you have smaller, more frequent meals, your sugar levels are always going to be like at a good level, right? So it makes sense. It makes sense. I haven't tried it, like I told you, but like I said, definitely skipping dinner and intermittent fasting works miracles when I have to sleep early, or just when I have to sleep well, I should say. Yeah. Another one is quit smoking. Now, I have never been a smoker in my life, so I wouldn't know. But they say smoking makes it hard for you to breathe and it gets less oxygen into your body. So I would definitely say, well, it makes sense. I mean, the article's saying it makes sense, but I wouldn't know. Learn to relax. Reduce stress and learn to relax. I think I gave you all of my tips to learn her to relax. What is going on? Okay, so apparently this is video number 2 and I'm gonna have to render. I hate rendering, but okay, whatever. Learn to relax. Definitely, like I mentioned, just do everything that you can in your possibility that you know will get you relaxed, and just relax. There's, at the end of the day or whenever, just try to be relaxed, right? And that is definitely going to help you. It has helped me. And number 15 is talk to your doctor. Definitely, if you've tried everything and you've tried everything on this list and it hasn't helped you, I would say it's time to go see a doctor, because there could be something else going on, maybe sleep apnea or any other conditions that are mentioned in this article as well that could be affecting your health. So yeah, definitely, if you are chronically tired or you just can't seem to get rid of tiredness, go ahead and visit your doctor. I would say that is your number one help in case you've tried everything and nothing seems to work. So I hope that these tips help you, and I hope that you can enjoy less tiredness during your work days from all of these tips. And if you find anything that really helps you, I would really love to hear about it. And so that is going to be pretty much it for me today. Please leave your questions in the comments and I will answer some of them on the next session. Remember, I'll be here every Monday through Friday after work. Remember also that we have a Patreon page where with as little as $1 you can give us your support and you help motivate us to create much more content. And with that $1 you have access to everything that we have on Patreon right now. That includes ad-free medical practice videos, scripts, answer sheets, vocabulary lists, and much more content. Go ahead and get on that. It's not going to be that cheap all the time forever, so get on that. If there was ever a best time to go ahead and get the most for your buck while you are trying to support a good cause, right, the Interpret Your World cause, now is the moment to go ahead and do it. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the content and have not done so for much more content. And don't forget to share. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.